It's Power Hour LSU.
EHL, extra little bit of swag, an extra little bit of taste.
Yeah. Man, I'm headed to the field. Terror of the tiger, I'ma always keep it real. Everything gon' get devoured, it's the power. LSU with Carter, it's the power. LSU with Carter, man, I'm headed to the field. Terror of the tiger, I'ma always keep it real. Everything gon' get devoured, it's the power. LSU with Carter, it's the power. LSU with Carter, man, I'm headed to the field.
Let's go. LSU baseball. We'll talk about that coming up. But I want to start off talking about the huge weekend for LSU football recruiting. Oh, my goodness gracious. They brought Patrick Peterson to town to help with the recruiting efforts of DJ Lockett. So, obviously, you see the screen here. It's actually DJ Pickett. We'll talk about Khalil Lockett a little bit later, but we'll obviously talk some baseball later. I want to discuss, though, how big of a recruit this would be for LSU football. First off, getting Patrick Peterson in town for this is absolutely massive. There's no better way to sell the future of the program by getting another five-star defensive back from out of state in town. So this is a photo here of Patrick Peterson with DJ Pickett and Jordan Arcement. And obviously, DJ Pickett is a very fascinating player. I met with him and talked with him at the spring game. In fact, he even has a PHL band. And look, we can all have our opinions about LSU football recruiting, but at this point, we need DBs. We need five stars, and I understand that high school recruiting has kind of turned a lot of you off lately because of the transfer portal and guys, flickering off their commitment. Obviously, a lot of you have been burned with Decorian Moore, and I totally get it. But the truth is, this is a big-time player in DJ Pickett, and you've seen the LSU cornerback room not really have those big-time weapons, in particular last year. So in Brian Kelly's first year, obviously the cornerback room was really good with Jarek Bernard Converse and most notably Mekhi Gardner, who's still with the Eagles. But obviously in the years prior, but it just hasn't been up to standard, especially since 2019 LSU when you had two five-star corners on the outside. And yeah, there have been quite a few three-star corners who have been really good at LSU, most notably Morris Claiborne. But the simple truth is you need five stars in your secondary, at least some, or you need some elite blue chip talent. Now, obviously, those at LSU are still hoping for great things from Javian Toviano. They're really excited about PJ Woodland's future at LSU, but it would be very nice to bring in another elite defensive back to this recruiting class. So we're going to talk about DJ Pickett quite a bit this year. Here are a few other photos. There's Patrick Peterson. That's just such a legendary photo. I almost made that my phone backdrop. So Dorian Brew, also an elite corner who was in town. It really was one of the biggest high school recruiting weekends, at least since the spring game. But honestly, the spring game had a lot of committed guys there. And a lot of the guys who were at the spring game were here again. It's a lot easier to sell a recruit on coming to a spring game, right? You got the big crawfish boil. You got an actual game of football to watch. But to actually make a visit when there's not a whole lot of fanfare and everyone is concentrating on a different sport altogether, it is very, very nice to have these types of players on campus that are very interested in being Tigers. So, for me, I am really pumped up about the potential opportunity of getting an elite five-star defensive back, okay? Now, the next thing that I would bring up here is I want to talk about another young man that I met at the LSU spring game. And this guy is from way up north, and his name is Damian Shanklin, all right, from Indianapolis, Indiana. So it's very interesting. That's more of Brian Kelly's territory, his origins from the Midwest there. Obviously, last year we had a defensive end. His name slips my mind that was committed from this region, and he ended up being a top 125 guy. And Shanklin is along those lines. Warren Central High School. I met him at the spring game. In fact, I filmed an interview with him at the spring game, and if he commits, I'll actually release that interview. It was a very good conversation I had with this guy, and obviously, him making another visit back to Baton Rouge is something that interests me. Obviously, LSU is making sure that the defensive line recruiting continues. And look, overall, the defensive end recruiting hasn't been as efficient from the high school ranks as LSU would have liked, right? There's been a lot of guys that have come in with a lot of fanfare and really haven't made that big of an impact. Some of these guys are entering year two. Obviously, a lot of us are really, really, really freaking excited about the potential of a Deshaun Womack breakout this year. And there's a lot of transfer portal guys who have helped out at the position, most notably Braden Swinson. I know a lot of you are still holding out for Savion Jones. So hopefully that actually gets done, that Damian Shanklin commits. As you can see, a consensus 4-star recruit and a top 100 consensus recruit overall. I'm always showing a little bit more favoritism to the 247 and On3 recruiting staffs in their rankings because they just pour more resources into it. But honestly, I like Shanklin a lot, just a little bit that I've watched on him. I don't watch as much like just random high school player footage until you actually commit. We get to Zion Williams. I understand, a little bizarre with the Zion Williamson type of name here, but Zion Williams out of Lufkin, Texas is also a very interesting defensive tackle prospect, 6'3", 296. You could just clearly see he can add something to that frame and become an even bigger weapon. And obviously, these are the types of guys that you want to target. Now, you see the opposite is actually true here from Shanklin. His two lowest recruiting rankings are from On3 and 247, but ESPN and Rivals rank him a little bit higher. Based on someone who was around this weekend in Baton Rouge, they feel pretty good about Zion Williams and the potential of him being a future LSU Tiger. So we then get to Khalil Lockett. All right, 5-star wide receiver. I mean, you guys know how I feel about wide receiver. The bar to entry is higher. Even if you're a 5-star, you really have to impress me. Khalil Lockett is someone that impresses quite a few of you. I've had one of you send me his tape, and man, he's got it. But as you guys know, not as important of a position via high school recruiting from out of state as it is other positions. And look, I know a lot of us are burned from the DeCorian Moore stuff. I totally get that. But the truth here is I feel really good about LSU's wide receiver room, even if they don't get Lockett. I don't think that is a must get. If I were to rank the importance of players that visited this weekend, I do believe the hype on DJ Pickett. I really do. So hopefully that does happen. LSU has spent a lot of time and resources. Obviously, I don't think Patrick Peterson just came in for this, but once I got the notification on my phone that PP7 was on Baton Rouge, was in Baton Rouge for this visit and was around for this visit, that was really cool to see. So there you go. Let's go to the first super chat here from Brian. He says, Warren Central is a mega powerhouse nationally. They have been a top 25 program 15 years in a row. They breed 4 and 5 stars. And look, I totally get it. Totally get it. I am of the belief that high school visits and all of that. I obviously didn't talk about every single player that visited this weekend. Maybe I'm wrong and none of those guys visited. And I'm just seeing things. I got to be honest. I had to stay up until 4 a.m. I had a really late night, had a really late wedding. I DJ'd last night. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to the lovely couple, Charlie and Clay. They were great. But I was reading up on it, and I had to miss the LSU baseball game yesterday. And lucky enough, I did. They got beat 4-2. But today, wow, we now shift to the main topic. Y'all, LSU baseball is not normal. It's not normal. Like, it really isn't. And I want you to think about all the supernatural things that you've gotten to witness as an LSU fan during your lifetime. Okay? If you are above 30 years of age, you've gotten to witness all of this ridiculousness. Obviously, LSU football and all the success they've had. Kim Mulkey and freaking Angel Reese. Wow. You've gotten to witness, other sports that are good. You've gotten to witness a Final Four run in basketball. You've gotten to witness LSU softball. You've gotten to witness a lot of different things. Gymnastics national championship. Beach volleyball, hell, made it to a Final Four. But there is nothing more magical than LSU baseball. They don't make sense. They just don't. Like, it really doesn't. They were down 5-0 in the first inning versus Wofford. And a lot of you got your asses up after a night of drinking away your sorrows after the 4-2 loss versus North Carolina. You got your ass up at 11 in the morning. And guess what happened? You were treated to a 5-0 first inning from Wofford, who should have beaten you the first time. And you're talking to yourself, well, maybe Wofford is actually good. But that's not the case. LSU baseball is just magical. There's no other way to describe it. I had an Arkansas friend text me today, and he's like, well, why can't you LSU guys just go away? Why can't we just have one of your national championships? Just one. As Arkansas baseball choked away. South Carolina withered and choked away. LSU baseball, almost every single year. They do not go down without a fight. And they do it again. And you see the thumbnail image. Josh Pearson is what LSU baseball is, right? Like, when you think LSU baseball, you think of the stars. You think of Paul Skeens. You think of Dylan Cruz. You think of DJ LeMahieu. Ben McDonald. But the truth is, a lot of these championships are won by Cade Belosos, Sean Ochinkos, those types of guys. It's these role players. These Ryan Shimps that dream of playing for LSU baseball. And Drew Pearson is that. Drew Pearson is from West Monroe, Louisiana. There's nothing more than this guy wants than to succeed and win national championships for LSU baseball. We don't win the Natty without him last year, and that crazy, awkward left field amazing grab. And then he does what he did today. Absolutely barreling two balls. There and folks, sex is great. Sex is great. A good Pop-Tart is great as well. But nothing beats hitting the ball right on the barrel, on the bat, in the big game. Nothing beats it. And Drew Pearson smoked the baseball today. So shout out to him. I said Drew Pearson, Josh Pearson. So my apologies to JP. But number 11, I'll never forget this guy. Just a freaking grinder. And Michael Braswell is insane. Just single after single after single. Hayden Travinsky. I mean, just a total team effort. Milam is a superstar now. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous what this team has done. Jared Jones getting on base a bunch. What a day. What a day to be an LSU baseball fan. Now, do they beat North Carolina tomorrow? We'll see. We'll see. But, you don't win these things without the pitching. Obviously, Ackenhouse stunk up the joint, but you had Griffin Herring. You had Thatcher Hurd. And it's every year. It's every freaking year. And this is where being a winner matters. Being a winning program matters. Like you watch these other SEC teams, they wither. They freaking wither every year. They don't have guys step up when it matters the most. They don't. They have guys that want to, go home and suck their thumbs. Like they don't have it. They don't have it. LSU baseball has it, whatever it is. All right. I will not give you a Chris Burke, Kyle Peterson breakdown on launch angles or any of that, or whips or OBPs and nays, all the different stats that they have out there. I won't be able to give you a breakdown on that. But the truth is, when I think of LSU baseball, I think of that one girl on the plane who was pointing at the back of the plane, yelling out, "This mother is not real. I'm telling you right now, this mother is not real." She's pointing at LSU baseball. It's magical. It's freaking magical. Warren Morris, Brad Cressy, DJ LeMahieu, double versus Texas in the ninth. Doesn't matter. It's every freaking year. It's magic. It's wizardry. Pixie dust. Now, we get to the next topic here, and we'll go to Jared, who's been very generous of late. I really appreciate you, Jared. Let's talk about Michael Braswell. What a story. What a freaking story. There's nothing quite like everyone saying you're cooked. You're not what we need. You're a South Carolina reject. Kid is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it's interesting, last year LSU shortstop Thompson said, me included. He was on an all-time slump in the World Series. I was like, bench him. Jay Johnson sticks with the shortstops. Right? That is a tough position to play. I think the difficulty of playing shortstop is the most underrated thing in sports. How hard it is to play that position day in and day out. All the ground you have to cover. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like everyone knows playing catcher is just brutal. Everyone knows that is the hardest defensive position. Everyone knows that. But struggling at shortstop when you're not getting the daggum thing done at the plate, and then you got to go back out there and cover all the ground that Braswell covers, kid is ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous. But honestly, life couldn't be better for me. Life could not be better for me. I get to watch my Tigers in an elimination game. Now, the next thing I will say, all right, we say out of Aaron, JSB, lots of PHL legends. I do want to point out one thing, and you guys know, you can call me Zoolander, you can call me Tim Gunn, you can call me Tyra Banks, call me just whoever you want. Any fashion icon that you want to think of. All right. Y'all, I tweeted this out earlier. It's getting passed around quite a bit. I'm not good at Twitter, as you guys know. I stick with mostly YouTube, but I do tweet a bunch. This is the best uniform combination in all of college baseball. And if there was one thing I would do, if I was the czar of baseball, is I would get rid of the gray uniforms. And I wear a lot of gray. I wear a gray hat every day. I love gray. Not on a sports field. It's too bland. It's drab. College baseball can have all these colorful uniform combinations, but no, let's put one team in white and one team in gray. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Colors. More colors, the better. I want every baseball player looking like damn Raleigh fingers. Okay. So, LSU, I want them to wear the gold tomorrow. That's a good thing about baseball. Your uniform combination has no impact on the other team. You can't wear white versus gray in women's or just any sport. Baseball is the only sport where you can play with teams wearing the same colors. Okay. The only one, all right, Chance, I will give Tennessee. Their ash gray is good. But the main reason I like Tennessee's ash gray is because Tennessee doesn't have a secondary color. They're orange. And that's what makes them very unique. The ash gray Tennessee uniforms are nice. Or what is it called? It's like Antarctica. It's I don't want to say the other one because y'all would think I was preaching the book of Leviticus. But I'm not even going to say it because it makes it sound like that. But I'm enjoying this. North Carolina, obviously, when LSU won the College World Series in 2009, North Carolina was in it. And I got to see Roy Williams in the flesh. I hope he's at the game tomorrow. Roy Williams, an OG. Now, I say Roy Williams' name. I saw my buddy T-Bob Abear. I'm going to call him out. Call him out. All right, T-Bob and I used to do a show many years ago. Still friends. I'm not talked to T-Bob in a while. But something else this weekend proved, all right, is this, all right. He said this: I like pastalaya more than jambalaya. I do too. Pastalaya is just better than jambalaya. Depends on who's behind the spoon. But pastalaya is better than jambalaya. That's not really a debate for me. And then he also says, I like the college baseball tournament more than he likes March Madness. All right. I'm going to call him out on this. All right. And y'all could send this to him all you want. He's right about both of these. All right. Now, if you're new to the channel, if you just happen to land on this channel tonight, all right, the college baseball tournament is better than March Madness in this way. Do I watch more March Madness than I do the college baseball tournament? I do. I do. Because I just like basketball better than baseball. But the truth is, I watch all levels of basketball. I like basketball so much more than baseball. The only form of baseball that keeps my peach emoji, and shout out to Ruston, Louisiana. They had their peach festival this weekend. But the only one that keeps my peach emoji on the couch for hours on end is college baseball regional. That is the only form. I don't even watch the whole College World Series because I think it's a little boring. I think the College World Series is boring. I'll say it. Regionals, you got a gazillion games going on. All right. And sometimes I think losing before getting to Omaha is way worse. Way worse than going to on barbecue in Omaha. Like barely, because everybody's mantra to begin the season is we want to make it to Omaha. Omaha is just such a sacred ground, and it is a great place during college baseball season. But that's what makes the regional so great. And every freaking regional is not played at a neutral site. It is played on the campuses, the way God intended college sports to be played. And the fact that a sport like college baseball, which is probably now you would say the third most popular sport that we have behind basketball and football, the fact that such high leverage games are played on campuses and you have to earn your home field right for these spots on campuses is so cool. And then what makes the regional so great is there is no such thing as an upset. None of this stuff is an upset. None of it. Arkansas lost to SEMO. What the heck is a SEMO? That sounds like a Pixar film. They lost to SEMO today, and not one person batted an eye. Nobody was shocked because they're used to Arkansas choking, but also this is just normal. A lot of you, including myself, were in Alec Box Stadium when the Stony Brook thing happened. Were you stunned? Yeah, you were stunned, but it's college baseball. And now in basketball, you do see more 16-1 upsets. And the portal has made things a little bit more even. I'll say that. In college football, you don't get any of this. I mean, Armonte Edwards ended it, and then after that, it was just hardly anything since then. There's nothing like this. Nothing. It is the peak form of college athletics. This right here. It's the best. It is the best. College football playoff, yeah, I'm more in tune with that, but I love all the games. I love all the games. I'll tell you this. This is not a lie. I even did a TikTok. I don't do a whole lot of TikToks. I love the Egg Bowl as much as I love the college football playoff. I can't say that I like random SEC Game 3 7-inning rubber match more than I like the regional stuff. The regionals are so good. That it is elite content. And the next thing, and I'm willing to piss off the college baseball purists. I am perfectly fine with that. All right? There is one major change that has made this sport so much freaking better. And I will eat my words. I have argued this for so long. I am partially wrong about something.
I think joy and happiness and doing things you like is important.
My favorite thing is sports cards. When I'm not on YouTube, I am building my collection. And when I started, I wish there was a sports card strategy show.
He wasn't necessarily going to be a first-round pick before all this Heisman buzz. Now they're talking about him being a top 5 pick.
Paul Hickey and the team at nooffseason.com personally helped build my Jaden Daniels collection, and they're looking to do the same for you. Just check them out on social media or nooffseason.com. Y'all, love nooffseason.com. Got my guy Ty Kershiana on the nooffseason.com bandwagon. They do all the sports. They don't just do football. I mostly do football cards. They do it all. So shout out to Paul Hickey, Andy, and the whole crew there. nooffseason.com. Yo, in life, there's one thing that we all battle in life. Some of you have a lot of money. We all want money. So money is a battle that we all struggle with. But some of us don't. Health is something that we struggle with. Some of you have good health, some of you don't. We all have our struggles, but there is one thing in life that is constant. Time. It's time. Okay. You know, I as I've gotten older, I've learned that Christopher Nolan is my favorite director. And if you really pay attention to all his movies, the main antagonist in every single movie is time. It really is, especially Interstellar. It's time. Time is everything that we battle. The single best thing that college baseball did was bring in time. A clock, a pitch clock has helped this sport so much. How many times did you watch today and you were like, holy crap, Braswell's batting again? He bats fifth in the order. It felt like he bat 20 times today. Thank God for the pitch clock, which is something I've been asking for. Now, why was I wrong about the pitch clock? Because I was a big advocate for all college baseball games only being 7 innings. And there still is a piece of me that wants college baseball to only be 7 innings. There still is a piece of me. I think Sunday afternoon games should all be 7 innings. All right. So, as normal, because I am chubby and I love food, we always get in big food debates here. So, Jared brings up tater salad and gumbo is not wrong. Hashtag stop the cap. Okay. So, in honor of this, I will take off my cap. So, obviously, this debate really started with Ed Orgeron, right? Like, he was like the first public figure who said, hey, I love potato salad in my gumbo. All right. Not for me. I'm just not a tater salad guy. What is that? Ron White tater salad? But maybe I should try it. I'm not my mom makes elite gumbo. And she also loves tater salad. So I'll tell her this. And speaking of mom, right when I said that, I swear, LA mom and I were homies. Right on cue. Potato salad and gumbo 100%. Right when I said my mom, randomly. I've not talked about my mom on here in a while. Right when I said my mom. LA mom. Boom. Sibley pushes back. He wants to get rid of the clock. I get it. Y'all, the pitch clock is so good. It's so good. I mean, what makes it so great, especially with this backdrop, is these guys are playing for their lives. It's something else I love about the regional. There are so many avenues for you to play college basketball professionally now. So many. Thank you, Julie. Julie, our first Venmo of the night. So I can go buy some tater salad. I love it. Now, here's what you're going to do. Let's see. If we get to a hundo in supers, I'll send out this facsimile Tyrann Mathieu photo. It is a facsimile. I'll send it out, though. I keep a bunch of these around to give out. Let's see here. Okay. Appreciate Hal in our Discord. Don't forget to sign up for the PHL Patreon and Discord. Down below, you get my extra film studies and breakdowns. I dropped a little recruiting note over the weekend, football related, and I'll leave that for Patreon. It's a player that we did not discuss at the beginning. And I know a lot of you are here for football. So if you want to talk some recruiting from over the weekend, I'm down to do that. But I'm also very open. I just get so exhausted keeping up with like the day-to-day recruiting updates. not as much as I used to. But this weekend was definitely an exception. That was crazy. Even though there was no commitment, so maybe none actually come from it, but that was insane how many really, really good football players were on campus over the weekend. All right, so we get into the dusting crawfish debate. Now, it's funny because I remember I was in the kind of off to the side, but kind of in the middle of it. There was a big crawfish dusting debate between UL Lafayette fans and LSU fans. And UL Lafayette fans are pro dusting. LSU fans will throw you into an erupting volcano full of electric eels and Nickelback albums if you dust your crawfish. Y'all, there is nothing, and I mean nothing wrong with how you want to eat your food. Hot take. Actually, no, I take that back. Some of y'all do some absolutely disgusting things. Yeah, y'all really do. Like, just absolutely disgusting things. I don't want to know what your disgusting thing is. Everyone knows they got their own disgusting thing that they do to food. But I do want to shout out the Raging Cajuns. We do have some Raging Cajun fans that watch and keep up with the baseball program. What an effort today in Texas. What an effort. I know JSB is heartbroken. So, someone catch you up on the Cajuns. I saw them destroying Texas. Was that in game one? Are they playing another game right now? I don't know. But I did see the smoothest bat flip I've ever seen from a college player. I can't play the clip on here for copyright reasons, but you could see the clip for yourself at Carter the Power. That was the best bat flip I've ever seen from a college baseball player, ever. But this is a good point by Jared, though. Here's the one thing I'll say about dusting crawfish, okay? Since it has become such a big topic for so many people, I would like to bring up that if you are dusting your crawfish, you should let people know if you're dusting. Okay? Like, I feel like it is very, very, very important to let people know. Because if you don't let people know, then, well, the boil you're making, you can't specialize that for anyone, you know? Like, if you're dusting crawfish, you've honestly got to let people know. Let's see now. I'm going to try and see if I can get a chef on here. Okay. Mick says, my Vietnamese friend does crawfish so he can make them 3 different heat levels for different tastes. You see, I like that. I really do. My question here is, why do we need to know he was Vietnamese? Like, I don't know why that adjective was necessary. I mean, you could have said my friend, and it could have been anyone. But it's good to know, Mick, you have Vietnamese friends. There you go. I have Vietnamese friends too. one thing that's was a debate. So I started a Facebook series recently where I cook my breakfast every morning, and I post just a stupid video on my Facebook account. And like some people are liking it or whatever, because I'm trying to eat healthy. I'm so fat as hell, but where I cook eggs every morning, and you guys have been roasting me for my egg cooking, roasting me, and that's fine. Okay, I'm a terrible cook, terrible. My wife does most of the cooking, terrible. But what I would tell you is I didn't know this was a thing, that there is a difference in eggs. All right. I knew there was like grade A eggs. I don't know how the grading works, but I learned about this thing called free range eggs. My buddy Jordan is my best friend, and I stayed with him a few weeks ago, and his wife Danielle. So we had breakfast, and I and Jordan's my best college friend. And he made eggs, and he was like, "Yeah, these are free range eggs." I was like, "What the hell is that? Free range, what the heck?" And I was thinking, "Oh, you shot these things at a gun range? Is that what that is? What is free range?" But apparently, if the chicken trots around in an open field, it adds a little musto to the eggs. Why? 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 uh, oh man. No, you're all right, Mick. I was messing with you. Because why did you say college friend? Why not just friend? That's true. I could have just said friend. Huh? Oh man, that's funny. Sibley says when I was in Vietnam, they had something like gumbo, but I was on a different message and didn't socialize. So if you're not old and you failed history, you probably didn't get this reference. But Sibley's old school. He's got stories for days. I'm sorry about your Texas Longhorn today. This is random. Been in Atlanta since Thursday. Didn't have running water for 2 days. Well, go to Magic City. If you're thirsty, go to Magic City. You shall be quenched. The show's gotten wild. This is what happens when you quickly realize when you were playing AU baseball that baseball is not your sport, and that is my thing. I really do feel bad for some LSU fans that might have just found me for the first time getting an LSU baseball breakdown. I can't do it. Like I could give you like a breakdown. I watched every play from today, but I'm not gonna front. I just cheer for the team and have as much fun. Football, and we'll talk about recruiting and all that stuff. But man, there's just so many stats with baseball now, man. The ERA was fine with me. I still don't know how to calculate ERA. Okay, I still don't. I struggled with GPA. I struggled with GTA. I sucked at that game. ERA. No one knows how to calculate that. Nobody. But now you got whip. You got VORP. No, it doesn't make any sense. When you start reading baseball statistics and you try to sound out the words it's making, it sounds like you're speaking an alien language. I don't know. I just know I'm proud of my team today. Now, let me see if I can pull up some Jay Johnson audio. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Here we go. Okay. I love college baseball freaking much. The regionals are so good, man. There's nothing that enhances a sport like the regionals.
So I always want the ball. I'm really grateful I got the ball, and happy to keep us in it. And then just you got Brady was unbelievable behind the plate tonight, and then what Cade, Fidel, and Guidry did was awesome. I think if you go down the line, Fidel is electric. He has amazing stuff. And then Cade, he pitched twice today, which is, that's gutsy, and biggest game of his life. I think he's got big leaguer written all over him, so it's really impressive. And then, you guys all know what Guidry does. He loves that. So it was pretty awesome. I think it was our best day of baseball, and that's exactly what Coach said yesterday. After we lost, he said tomorrow's going to be our best day of baseball, and I think that was the case. So good to build off of.
After what offering really working for you today?
I think it's getting ahead has been my biggest focus, just peeling it back, and I'm not getting ahead.
All right, so good stuff. Thatch, appreciate you, bro. Pearson, I want to hear from Pearson, and then we'll get into the great Jay Johnson. So this man is on the thumbnail image. I would say he's the MVP of this regional.
I feel like I approach every at bat really much the same, but just try to slow down and put a good swing on a good pitch. And I feel like in those moments, I just do a good job of staying within myself and not trying to do too much. Just put a good swing on a good pitch. And that's all you can do.
Josh, earlier in the year, it was we're not in the field, but we're in the fight. The messaging today, it seemed like a chip and chair, the chance, I guess, is there for you to take it. Just how much does that messaging resonate and allow you all to come out there and do something?
Yeah, we know that we're always in the fight. And I think Coach might have brought that up because we've been playing blackjack a little bit at the hotel. And I've been down to one chip at the hotel and made my way back. So, that's just the mentality, is that we got to stay there and just keep at it.
Josh, who's the best player on the team in blackjack?
I don't think any of us are very good.
Coach, how big is it to see guys like Hayden and Josh, really the veteran stalwarts in the lineup, get some huge shots? How big is that not only for those guys, but for the confidence of some of the younger guys that you belong?
Yeah, big deal. And can't win at this level of college baseball in the SEC or against a team like Carolina with all young players. Experience wins, talent and experience wins. Those guys have talent, they're experienced. They held up the trophy. They've been in games like that today and have come through. And when that happens, they should draw a lot of confidence from that. And I have confidence in them, just like I had confidence in giving the ball to Thatcher tonight. That was the plan for the entire tournament, is when we got back to this game, with Carolina, had we won yesterday or lost yesterday and fought our way back, he was going to get the ball tonight. And he did a great job. So it's a lot of peace of mind, him in the box, him on the mound, knowing that they've done it before. And they should draw a lot of confidence from that.
Josh, on that whole run in the first inning, that was a pretty tough pitch to sort of square around and pull an outside pitch. Like, how did you sort of get your bat around to be able to drive that out of the park?
Yeah, I was just going to be aggressive on a pitch over the plate that I could drive, and I was going to be geared up, ready on time, and I was able to do that on that pitch.
What have you done lately to sort of improve your timing?
Just be ready, and don't get too sped up in the box, and don't allow the pitcher to use his timing against me, and just be loaded up and ready whenever the pitcher throws the ball.
Mitchell, Coach Gallagher and Honeycutter, better players in kind of the year was the past 2 nights. Tonight they went over 10 against Yahoo, was kind of frustrating them.
I think it was just the execution of the pitchers. This guy has major league stuff. He's going to pitch in the major leagues for a long time. And so I think the credit really goes to Thatcher. Like, those guys are great players. And then Gavin, obviously, there at the end, making pitches to not allow him to get enough of it because he has great power. And, we executed really well tonight. And I just think it's more about our pitchers executing. Yeah, I think they believe in themselves at a high level, playing as well as we have for the past month and a half. They should believe in themselves. But as I said last night, after a tough loss, today was going to be our best day. And those aren't words. It's like we're going to put everything, to the middle and go for it. And these guys did that. And, when you're in this tournament, you have to have great individual performances by guys that have talent. And that's what we got today in both games because we beat two really good programs today.
That's what's crazy. Winning 2 games. Insane. Nothing quite like it. So tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central will be first pitch. I'm trying to figure out if there was – I kind of want to do like a joint watching thing. I just have so much fun sitting and watching these games. Like, I don't even like to really, like, break down. You know what I'm saying? Like, just kind of being a fan. Like, I can't really enjoy LSU football because I'm always, like, breaking it down, like, film stuff and just trying to think about what the next video is going to be about and the next play, the next game. I'm a little too process-oriented and not end results-oriented. Baseball, I just want the team to win. Now, if there's a decision I agree or disagree with, I'll tell you on this channel. But I just have so much fun watching this group and just but yeah, I actually so I just got a text from my buddy's mother. Okay, my buddy Jordan's mother, and she said she's going to get some more free range eggs for me. I loved, dude. I didn't notice a difference, but it's a difference. I didn't know there was a difference, but there is a difference with them free range eggs. You can't beat the free range eggs. It was interesting. So this was I was digging in my backpack the other day. That's a dangerous thing to do. And I found one of my old comedy flyers here. The Looney Saloon. Oh, look at that dashing young fella. I'll have to write this down. Let me see. Simu. That's who Arkansas lost to. Simu. And it's not only that they lost to him. They beat them in game 1, but it was kind of a close, game. But I'll see. If let me ask you this: if I did like a live play-by-play for like the last couple of innings, would you guys watch? I don't know. I don't really like doing like post-game baseball shows. I really don't. I don't really feel like I add a whole lot to the table, but I don't know. I kind of feel like doing a live watch thing. But I thought the blackjack thing was interesting. I guess, I don't know. What is the legal limit to gamble? Is it 21? I don't know. I've always sucked at blackjack. Hate blackjack. I think blackjack's the most overrated thing we do as a society when it comes to gambling. I also think a lot of things about gambling and sports gambling and all that stuff. As someone who gambles on sports. Another thing that's really helping out the college baseball regionals, and they wouldn't admit this. I'm interested to see what the numbers actually are as far as like viewership, but no NBA, no NBA at all. Like it's been over. Regionals took center stage. Now we do have a slightly different topic. and it's Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. It's a story every single day. And Angel Reese's teammate, the cheap shot on Caitlin Clark. And, I kind of hate this from like a Caitlin Clark standpoint. I wouldn't even call myself a fan of hers. I appreciate her and what she's done for the sport. Obviously, Angel's my favorite player, but I kind of feel bad because I don't think she wants like social commentary from every single game that she plays, because there's a lot of that from so many different angles. A lot of that. A lot of people saying some outlandish things, calling the WNBA players names that they probably shouldn't be called. It's a little out of line. But, Angel Reese's teammate had the cheap shot, and a lot of people are angry at how Angel acted afterwards. First off, was the cheap shot a cheap shot? Yeah, you shouldn't do it. Was there a little floppage to sell it? Yeah, there was from Kaylin, but she was blindsided, so, it probably startled her. But I'm here to tell you this. Anyone that's not watched Angel Reese, she is like different when it comes to the mental mind games. Like the way she can just take over a game with just her presence is crazy. So I don't think she was applauding her teammate for cheap shotting Caitlin Clark. I think she's doing it for the mental aspect of it. I've seen so many players that go up against Angel Reese just wither away when they go up against when they go up against Angel Reese mentally. I've seen it. Girls airball free throws with the game on the line. I've always found her trash talking interesting. It's just part of who she is. So I won't spend too much time on it. I did find one thing hilarious though. So, there was a big discussion when Chinity Carter, who was a girl, who did the cheap shot on Angel Reese. The reporter asked multiple times, and she said, "I'm not answering any Caitlin Clark questions." But she still did answer Caitlin Clark questions. And then she went on social media to talk about Caitlin Clark. I thought that was a little ironic. So, it's part of it. Yeah, and she does a really good job. Like, I really don't think she's on social media. I'm serious. Like, do I think she reads and hears other things? Yeah. But, I mean, the thing that's really turning me off is, like, every last little thing is, like, an expose on the societal norms of women's basketball. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, it doesn't. Yeah, there is a general discussion to be had about all the different factors at play here. There are a lot of them, but it's every single day. It's insane to me. Absolutely insane. Now, let's go to Amatet. YouTube ads just interrupt the live stream. Sounds stupid because I'll never intentionally buy anything advertised to me on YouTube. So I get this a lot, right? YouTube ads, they're in the live stream. Well, I don't have a whole lot of ads or sponsored reads that I do on the show, and that's by intention. Like, the only 30-second-ish spot that I play on my end is a card network I work for. Okay, I don't even call that it's not even an ad, really. I'm with them, if that makes sense. like I do a show for them. I have a lot of sweat equity into nooffseason.com. So like I don't even know if I'd even call my show affiliated with them. Like this guy's Paul's a longtime friend of mine. I've done a show for them for years. But this is just something to keep in mind whenever, especially if you're watching an independent creator. Every ad on YouTube that you watch for an independent creator or that you skip over is helping that creator. And that is even more important for independent creators, which I am. Like everything that you see, I have made 99% of the things that has ever been produced or seen on here is from me. So, especially in the off seasons when I'm not getting a lot of super chats and all of that, and it's not football season, those help. Those help so much. Now, it doesn't help as much as even a $5 super chat you watching the ad and continuing. But I get it if you're watching, an afternoon college football game at 2:30 in the afternoon, and you got a 4-minute block of spots at the newly added 2-minute warning. That's frustrating because we're talking about multi-million-dollar organizations. But YouTube ads, they're not really that intrusive when I watch it. And I watch a lot of YouTube. But granted, I pay for YouTube Premium. As much as I watch it, I just got rid of it. But anytime you watch an ad, it helps. It does help me greatly. It really, really does, because all of you that watch it does help. And I'm not getting paid that's my point. I'm not getting paid a lot for it, but I'm getting paid some. Now, I'll tell you this, Amakat, and I really do mean this. If I was making a ridiculous sum of money, I would find a way to turn them off. I would. Okay, I'd find some way to completely shut them off. But I do set them up to run randomly because they do help. But if it does interrupt you, it doesn't take. I think one during the stream is probably like 5 to 10 seconds. You could skip it immediately. I understand it gets frustrating, but it does help. It really does. Gary says, I'd rather watch the Pro Bowling Tour than the WNBA. Okay. Sure. I mean, do you like bowling? I mean, bowling's fun to me. I grew up watching Pete Weber and wait, who else? God, I used to watch this. I used to know that the oil pattern that gave pros the most trouble was a cheetah oil pattern. But yeah, crap, I'm blanking. I think one had a very basic name like Christopher Smith or something like that. But Pete Weber is obviously the most famous, but who else? No, it was Christopher Barnes or something like that. That was the I think it was something Barnes. I don't know. Oh yeah, by the way, I meant to get this out earlier. First $20 super chat gets this. We did get a Venmo here. Janice. She said for more eggs. Thank you so much, Janice. I appreciate you. Now, Janice wishes to remain anonymous, but I wanted to shout her out this time. Janice has been very kind to me, and I appreciate her. Okay. Oh, Carrie, you're new here now, or you're back. I remember you, Carrie. Good to see you. Maybe next time he'll think before he cheats. That's a great Carrie Underwood song. Pretty little souped up 4-wheel drive. Carve my name into the leather seats. That's so funny. Carrie Underwood. Not the most famous Carrie. That would be Carrie Bradshaw, fictional Carrie Bradshaw. I don't know. Is Carrie Underwood more famous than Carrie Bradshaw? I don't know. I don't know. One has had a more simple love life. All good, aim cat. I love a good axe throwing championships. I do like axe throwing. Like, have you ever done like the axe throwing? It's crazy to me. Like, whoever thought the idea of, yeah, let's drink a bunch and throw axes. Shout out Stumpy's in New Orleans. We did a live event before the Florida State game in 2022. That seems so long ago. PHL Nation. I still don't understand the Arkansas baseball stuff, dude. It is amazing how badly they choke every year. It is amazing. Like, it is perplexing that Dave Van Horn has not won a World Series. But what do we always say? Mike Martin went to 17 College World Series. It is my favorite stat. 17 College World Series and didn't win a single one of them. How does that happen? And how often, and Mike passed over this past year. I like Mike a lot. Interesting guy. So, like, how often does that happen? Like, how do you play that many World Series games and not actually win it all once? There's people that have been to it once and won it once. It is insane. Absolutely insane that happened. Okay. Yes, Gary, that's what they're doing now. Now, here's what we're going to do. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll answer as many questions as we possibly can. But your super chats would obviously go a very long way. And we'll keep it going all night. I'm fine going all night. I really am. I did have a fun wedding last night. The bride, her name was Charlie. Interesting. Charlie. I don't think I've ever met a Charlie. CHARLI. She was awesome. There have been some bridezillas in the past, but mostly great brides. And Clay, and this is how a lot of Southern weddings go. I do a lot of weddings in like barns, honestly. And it's not like there's needles and haystacks and stuff like that, but it's just like a barn. And it was great. It's absolutely great. But in the South, so when you're getting ready to do a thing, you do like a consultation call. So you talk to him for like 20 minutes, and about half the time, the husband says nothing. Like I just want to have a good time. And those weddings normally turn out the best. I'm just saying. It's not a dissertation on anything. It's just and I have one coming up in Gonzales pretty soon, and it was kind of like that for this couple. So pretty pumped up with how everything turned out last night. So if anyone from there was watching that or watching me right now from it, it was a pretty epic time. Taking a look at these stats from tonight. Thatcher Hurd, 5 2/3. He did give up 6 hits, but only 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, no walks. Make them earn their bases. I like it. Tommy White 1 for 5, but Milam was 3 for 5 again. Pearson, of course, had the big home run. And basically, that's it. The Jim Kelly era, 4 straight Super Bowls. Yeah, it sucks being a Bills fan. And then all this Josh Allen mess. I have no idea how you have a quarterback as good as Josh Allen, and you keep thinking that Sean McDermott is your answer. That never makes sense to me. I did not mention. So this is a good message here from Casey. He says, Carter, you do not mention Louisiana legend Dustin Poirier going down. Did not watch the fight last night. I'm a DP guy, though. Dr. Pepper and Dustin Poirier. I think I heard that he's potentially retiring. Shout out to you, DP. What a dude. Kevin, what's up, man? Good W. We'll take a few more here. And then I am passing out, getting ready for tomorrow. God, man. Dude, there is nothing like this stuff, man. There's nothing like it. I love it. Oh, let me say this one thing. All right. So the one thing about college baseball is the soccer finals, the Champions League's finals, happens around the same time. And I will say it once, and I will say it again. I hate Real Madrid. I do with a fiery passion. They won it again. Am I sour? Yes, I am very sour because they win it every single year. And it's starting to get like the freaking Chiefs, where they are the best team. They win it every year, but they win it ugly every year. God, I'm so pissed off at Real Madrid. I don't know how much more I can handle it. I really, really, really don't. And I don't dislike them in particular. I just hate this level. They keep winning. They keep winning. And I'm tilted over it. Totally tilted. Barcelona's no good anymore. They can't beat them. We're expecting Dortmund. And, I actually watched the highlights when I got back in at like 1 a.m. or whatever the hell time it was. And I was like, man, I've not watched. I turned off all my phone, just watched the highlights. And I see Dortmund creating all these chances and freaking Real Madrid. Dude, I freaking hate them with a burning passion. Hate them. And then they get one of my favorite players, Mbappe. But it's funny that you guys are mentioning Alabama. So Real Madrid's best player is Vinicius Jr. He's Justin Jefferson's good friend. But outside of Vinny Jr., their best player is a midfielder named Jude Bellingham. Okay. So Jude Bellingham has a cool name. Jude. Are you kidding me? There's a Beatles song named after this guy. The Beatles didn't know it, but they wrote this song about this superstar footballer 40 years into the future. His name is Jude. What a name. Bellingham just rolls off the tongue. He's British. Okay, plays for the England national team. Good-looking guy. His future's ahead of him. At 16, they have murals of him at Birmingham Football Club at 16. He goes to Dortmund, the team that they beat yesterday. He goes to Dortmund, becomes one of the best midfielders in the world. Then he became the highest paid midfielder in history when he went to Real Madrid. Okay, so think of an infielder going from the Tigers to the Yankees. That's essentially what happened. Or you're transferring up, to use a college football reference. Mekhi Wingo from Missouri to LSU or whatever. You guys get the picture. And he goes to Real Madrid. Okay. So, super good looking guy who has made quadrillion dollars playing football, has a gazillion sponsorship dollars, is the future of England national team football. Obviously, is one of the biggest soccer stars in Spain. And they interview him. Okay. They interview him after the match. And so one of the first words he says after the interview is, I am so glad I proved the doubters wrong. What doubters? What doubters did you have? There are no doubters. There's not a single person that doubted Jude Bellingham. Every single team wanted you and was willing to pay the price. Liverpool wanted you. We were begging for Jude Bellingham. Begging for him. So why did I bring this up? Well, Bryce Young in his Heisman speech, 5-star quarterback, number 2 nationally ranked player, goes to play for the best college football coach to ever put on a headset. I just wanted to prove all the doubters wrong, is what he said during his Heisman speech. There are no doubters. So apparently the great athletes, they've got to make people up. The key to being a great athlete is imagination. got to have imagination. You got to have doubters. I'm telling you, man, doubters. And I have made this point a gazillion times over. You can hate Ed Orgeron all you want. You can despise what he did to the program after he won his national championship. You can hate him for so many different things. But the one thing you cannot say is that this man didn't have doubters. There were more doubters than believers. There was not a single member of the national media that thought Ed Orgeron was going to work at LSU. Not a single one. All right. He is one of the few A-list sports figures of the past decade who had consensus doubters. Now, people in Louisiana believed him, but I think it was a lot of the fact that they just liked him. He was LSU. He is our culture, right? But he had real doubters. But there's not many people that have like consensus doubters. You have some doubters, right? You have some doubters. But Jude, there at least Bryce Young, for some people with Bryce Young, you're short. You're short. That's it. Bryce Young had everything going for him. Jude, there wasn't a single human. They never retired jersey numbers at soccer. They retired his jersey number at 16 at Birmingham, I think, or something like that. I don't know. He didn't have doubters. I'm serious. If I already know what I'm going to get. You get messages all the time during their shows. Oh, well, Carter said this guy was good looking 2 times in a row. Google a photo of him. If you want, I'll pull up a photo. It'd be like me jumping out here and saying, George Clooney is hideous. Come on. Men know who the good looking dudes are. Do we know? I cannot believe Jude Bellingham said that. Couldn't believe my ears. And he had his family around him. He could have said, man, my family supported me through this. But no, you got to mention the doubters. Got to mention the naysayers. You play for Real Madrid. They handed you life-altering money before you ever stepped on the pitch at the Bernabeu. But no, doubters. They're somewhere. They're somewhere out there. There are no doubters. Well, who doubted you? Well, people. People. Well, Carter, he can say whatever he wants. Really? Yeah, he can. Trust me. I will tell you this. I was a center midfielder in soccer, so I played his position. There is not one thing I could do on the soccer field, 1/100th as good as this guy can. He has got every natural ability in the book. He has zero weakness in his game, and he is going to be the next like Zinedine Zidane, who also played at Real Madrid. But there's no doubters. Like everyone knew you were a prodigy. You are the freaking best player. And Liverpool, our midfield was fine this year, but I mean, the damn Beatles wrote a song about you 60 gazillion years in the past. Name one other person named Jude. Jude. Okay, so yeah. Jude Law. You got Jude Law. You got Jude, who was a host on Shade 45 Sirius XM. I don't know what he's doing now. Rude Jude. I mean, Jude is just a great name. LSU Oilers parlay. You know what's worst about shouting out your doubters when they don't exist at all? Is mentioning hockey at all when everyone's having a good night. Why mention hockey? What the fuck are you doing? Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do it again. I'm just kidding. What's up, Jordan? But hockey is the worst. I mean, it's just not what I would consider something interesting to me. But next year it'll be Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk hoisting that trophy. We got to get our new coach. But I'm serious, man. Freaking Jude Bellingham. Am I sour? Am I sour? Yeah, I'm sour. I'm freaking sour about Liverpool. My favorite coach retired. Okay? It's not my fault my favorite coach retired. It's not my fault. Don't hate on me that my favorite coach retired. There's nothing I could do about it. I've never understood this. So I got in another one of these 3-star debates. Well, the star rankings don't matter. And all Kurt Warner did was bring up a very simple question. Is how do the recruiting services come up with their rankings? How do they do it? Well, I don't know. I really don't know the full process of how it's done. I know it has a lot to do with the camps. I know the offer list. They won't admit that it has a whole lot to do with it, but it has something to do with it. But I'll be honest. All right, and I really do mean this. Like, do I think Kurt is valid in like just asking, hey, how do you come up with this? Yeah, absolutely. And we might have a guest coming on here in a second. But yeah, like I think it's fine if you just ask the question, but it always spurs the same kind of debate. It's kind of like the Caitlin Clark situation, right? Is Caitlin being targeted by some jealous players? Yes. But it then gets overcompensated into wrong opinions, right? Because there's a lot of people calling WNBA players and generalizing a lot of WNBA players a bunch of dirty names, okay? And then they should kiss the ring at Caitlin Clark because she's helping them fly around the country. And It's true, but calm down just a bit. It's the same thing with like this recruiting debate. The same people always say the stupid stuff over and over and over again. Well, you do know that your star ranking doesn't mean anything. And that's true for an individual player. Okay, that is true. But what they don't fully include is everything else. Okay, so like Patrick Mahomes is a great story. Is a great example of this. So you go look up at Patrick Mahomes' consensus ranking on On3. On3 wasn't around when he was coming out, and he's like a higher tier 3-star. He's not the highest tier 3-star, but he is a higher tier 3-star. His composite 247 ranking, though, would have put him as a 4-star. But he is only a composite 3-star because at the time, 247 didn't give out the 4-star ranking as much as they did. As much as they do now. So if Patrick Mahomes was the same type of recruit in the 247 composite, 10 years or even 5 years later, he would have been a 4-star recruit. Now, did Rivals have him as a 3-star recruit? They did. But Rivals also had him as the 12th best quarterback in the country. And he had him as the 12th best dual threat quarterback. They separated them back then. A lot of the services did. And ESPN had about a 3-star grade on him. Okay. Lamar Jackson was also kind of the same thing. He was a higher tier 3-star. But to say that they weren't like at these camps and stuff like that is just crazy. It drives me insane. Now, I do have a special guest for you. The final few minutes, he'll actually give you some super fun, deep, detailed baseball analysis. Set some viewership records tonight. His name is Blake Ruffino. What's up, man?
Actually, my name is Jay Johnson Stan.
Jay Johnson Stan. What's good, brother? How are you, man?
I gotta tell you, I've never. Can I tell you? Here's the truth. You ready?
Let's hear it.
College baseball is more intense in postseason than maybe any other sport.
By far, it is the best. It is the best.
No, it's not. I've just lost 10 years off of my life because LSU couldn't throw a fucking strike.
Dude, there, and you know I'm not a big baseball guy, but the regionals, I'm glued, man. I'm glued. I can watch freaking the Shanta clip.
Can I tell you something that I think that ESPN needs to do? You know how baseball has the squeeze play during the regional? Why don't they do that for college football?
Well, it'd be a little bit easier now because it's all under one umbrella.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't they have a college football red zone? I'm trying to think logistically.
I mean, you're streaming it anyway.
Yeah, here you want to know what I think the big holdup on that would be, Blake, why they wouldn't want to introduce it. It's because they know that if you're a diehard fan of a team, you're going to sit through the 4-minute ad break, right? Because if you're a diehard fan of the team, you're only watching.
Oh, but it's not for the diehard fan. It's for the people that aren't the diehards.
But that's what I'm saying. Is some of those diehards would go to the multi-view experience and not actually watch the ads, if that makes sense. Like you see NFL Red Zone, that they're able to double dip, right? Because you have to pay extra for the red zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're
449 on YouTube, which isn't bad, really.
No, it's really not if you're a real NFL fan. But if you're just a fan of your local team, well, most of the diehard fans of the local team are watching just the local feed, right? So they'll sit through the ads no matter what. I think for me, I don't know. Would you watch, like, let's say like there's an LSU game on.
If Alabama and Texas were playing on ABC and Mississippi State and Oklahoma were playing on ESPN, I would like to have it. I mean, it definitely serves our purpose because we cover the stupid bastards.
I'll be honest. The squeeze play is like my favorite yearly sporting event now. Like, I love March Madness. I really do. And obviously soccer is always going to be better than baseball for me. But the college baseball regional stuff, there's nothing that beats it, man. Dude, I'm cursing up a storm, cheering for Long Island, and they have a kid on their team who is a backup pinch runner named Chandler Ketchup. I was like, Chandler Ketchup. I was like, there's no way. His name is Chandler.
Always the dudes from like North Carolina who have the last name Ketchup.
Chandler Ketchup is his name. Oh my God. And then, but
yeah,
one thing that's added for me is, and you know this because you know a lot of people in pro baseball and stuff like that, is this really is the biggest stage for 99% of these athletes. Like, none of these guys are Paul Skeens. Like, none of these guys are like.
Well,
that.
the truth is LSU UNC's probably got 5 guys you'll see in Major League Baseball in 4 years.
So who are the big draft guys for
Van Honeycutt? I think Gallagher from UNC. I think Harbor for UNC. I think Jared Jones, Tommy Tanks, Griffin Herring for sure. Gage Jump, Luke Holman.
So so is Tommy Tanks like a first? I don't know any like.
Yeah, he's a first round pick. I think he's going to struggle, you know, but we'll see, man. I mean, look, Carter, I just want to win tomorrow. You win tomorrow, you come home, you get a supers at the box, voodoo galore. Fireball's going to be out the wazoo. I'm going to break my sobriety. I drank a glass of wine last night, okay? And I'm proud of the state of Louisiana these last 48 hours. Dustin Poirier cut the Russian can bleed. This state is on one right now. So sign me up tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are taking down a Tar Heel. By the way, do you know those guys that you grew up with that drove jacked up trucks? You know what they call those, right? The Carolina lift. That's when you know that you have a small penis, when you have to get your truck lifted, and they call it the Carolina lift. So we're going to take it to those dudes tomorrow. I have no idea who we're going to pitch. Okay, I have no idea how we're going to do it. But Jay Johnson is the walking non-Italian Al Capone, okay? He's going to get it done. Okay, they're the same exact height. It is going to be fantastic. And if we lose, I'm going to be in a formal protest.
Yeah, so about the Carolina truck lift, you know they all had truck nuts.
Oh, 100%. You know who needs to get some truck nuts? Dave Van Horn.
Oh, dude. So I texted you earlier about this. There's no pain like being an Arkansas fan. Like, I'm the only.
Here's my thing.
There's no pain.
Here's my thing. If Dave Van Horn would be doing this at LSU, they would run him out of the building.
Oh, he would have been fired 2 years ago. Yeah.
I don't know about 2 years ago because he was in Omaha. I don't think they would have done that. But at some point, dude, you just lost in a regional. You just literally got dicked down in your own regional.
By Simu.
Hey, don't ever say anything bad about Southeastern Missouri. I have no idea if that's their name, but of course.
Simu. Don't mess with Simu, man. Dude, Arkansas fans are just so numb to everything. Like, the Coach Cal thing is like the only thing. Their year in athletics was so bad from NIL to boosters to players, coaching. It's. I didn't think it could bottom any worse for them.
You want to hear something funny? I know, or I have a very good friend who was at the Arkansas game last night.
Okay.
He was sitting in the suite. John Tyson was there. Okay. And he was wearing a non-buyable Arkansas basketball shirt. He was wearing basketball shorts and literally told a buddy of mine, we're a basketball school.
Yeah. I mean, I know that because I have a friend in the NBA finals that played at Arkansas. Yeah. I mean, they're basketball school. Shout out Daniel Gafford, taking home Mavs. Yeah, dude, but enough about them, dude. It depresses me that my friends have to go through it. But
not me. I love every second of it.
Dude, you hate the Hogs, man.
I don't like them because they grow a pair. Like, dude, Sam Pittman would not be allowed to do what he's doing at LSU.
But they got Bobby back.
Dude, you know that's going to fail. You know it's going to fail.
I will tell you this. Their portal pieces are interesting. 6'7" freaking nature dual threat quarterback, who's not that good, but is ridiculously gifted. Jaquindon Jackson, their running back from Utah, is very underrated. Like Logan Diggs level player.
Wait, were you live during the game?
No, I was.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, no, I was during the last inning. Because why?
I don't know. Do you realize the things that I would be saying on here if I were live during that last inning? Dude, people would have unfollowed me. I would have been banned from every social media account.
I wasn't watching the game. I did my football stuff during that.
All right. What'd you think about this weekend in recruiting?
Oh man, anytime Patrick Peterson's on campus, it gets me chills. Why do you sigh?
Because I don't think it matters deep down.
Oh, you don't think the kids care?
Mm-mm. I think Patrick Peterson walks in and they say, "Who's that?" Okay, maybe not that bad.
I mean, I could see that if he retired 5 years ago, but I mean, he is still. There is some weight in him saying, "I'm still playing in the NFL."
I get that. That's probably a little too far fetched. I just don't think it matters with these two DBs you had on campus. I think if Jabari Antoine was on campus, it would have been a massive deal.
Why? Because he's from Louisiana.
Because he's from Louisiana, yeah. I don't think it matters.
Well, Pickett is from
Florida.
Peterson's from
Florida.
I don't think I still don't think it matters because I think at the end of the day, when Miami comes around, shout out Simeon Barrow. But when
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's really not though. God, do we got a lot we need to touch on?
Well, just say what you're going to say. Go ahead.
LSU's going to let him out his financial commitment, and
you mean Miami?
No, I think LSU's going to let him because he signed a financial aid paperwork at LSU, and they're going to let him go, and he's probably going to go to Missouri.
Oh, wait, Barrow did?
I mean, that's where things are trending. That's what that's what he told 247 last night.
Interesting. All right. So I was working last night, so I wasn't able to see anything.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that Zenitz last night.
Interesting. So he signed medical paperwork.
Yeah, he signed financial because what you do as a portal player, you sign financial aid paperwork, but it doesn't matter. You can leave. But it's basically an agreement that you can't go to another SEC school. It's like the Tyler Barron thing.
Right. So for those who don't know, Barron signed with Ole Miss And then
Which
ended
is
up
a
going.
whole different thing. Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear. I've just given up on
Jeff
him
Brom
altogether.
not only kicked them off the team at Louisville, banned them for ever stepping on Louisville's campus again. Him and his
safety.
brother. Yeah, him and his brother. And we're sitting here recruiting the dude. Meanwhile, Josh Heupel telling everybody, "I told you so."
I'm telling you. This is what I say about Tyler Barron. Don't know him well, right? But all the Tennessee fans on my power
Hated
hour,
him.
dude, they despised him. I've had a few message me saying, "Hey, I understand that LSU is in the running, but honestly, I think if you were to just helicopter someone who doesn't know anything about the situation, and you were to say, hey, this guy's about to be on his 4th different team in a month," I mean, you don't really need any inside information. If you are, especially if you're a draft eligible guy.
Dude,
like
you would honestly, dude, if this dude would be doing half the stuff that he did in one of the 5 families in New York, that he would have been clipped by now.
I mean, that was so random. I don't know why. I don't know why you brought that up. That's so random. That's so random. I didn't.
See, this is the thing when we talk about me doing stand up. I
didn't know I was going to get a Luca Brasi sleeps with the feces type of.
I mean, but see, this is the thing when we're talking about stand up. I think I'm naturally funny, but I need somebody to like set me up with stuff.
I'm telling you, I will tell you this as someone who has bombed a gazillion times.
You just got to go out there and bomb, baby.
Yeah, but
like your name's Hayden Travinsky tonight.
But I'm saying the first time you bomb, if you're not comfortable being up there bombing, it's Hershey sauce down your legs, dude. It's a cold world, bro.
I hadn't shit my pants since the 3rd grade.
If you're 3 minutes into your 5-minute set and you're bombing and you're just like, God, dude, just throw me into.
I literally thought about this the other night. I literally could just tell stories from my family and people will laugh. And the sad thing is they're true, okay? But in reference to football, I just don't know if it meant this weekend meant anything. I think next weekend means more.
Okay, elaborate.
DK Moore's returning, and DK Moore's family, I heard told people to shut the fuck up, and they didn't.
Well, I'll tell you this. My Ohio State folks liked what they were hearing. I don't know where to go with that. Oh man, I kind of don't want to talk about Decory more because I just kind of want to let it be. Because if you keep bringing a guy up like this and you tease the fans of the team that your channel's surrounding, it exhausts them. But so he is returning next week.
That's what he said.
I hope.
Do you realize on NCAA, or it's not NCAA anymore, college football 25? I am going to put recruiting like on junior varsity, and I am going to wreck shop on everybody. My NIL packages are going to be insane.
Okay, well, I mean,
I am not losing a recruit.
Mm.
I hate this stuff. I do feel better about defensive line though.
Yeah.
High school recruiting.
The young man from Lufkin, a name that is very popular. Zion Williams.
Yeah, and the Brown kid from Florida too, who committed to Texas when Bo was still at Texas.
Yeah, Brandon Brown.
The Shanklin kid from Indianapolis, who from everything that I heard this weekend, pretty much, man, they flipped him from Notre Dame. Kid from Indianapolis wanted to go to Notre Dame, and something happened this weekend. I don't know what yet, but something happened.
I spoke to him at the spring game.
Shanklin?
And I was very impressed that he was that interested in coming to LSU. I know we recruited that Mickens kid last year, and he ended up leaving. So you do worry about distance, right?
Right.
Being that far away, and if you don't get immediate playing time, and we saw that happen with Jackson Howard, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Now, to make sure we don't do one of our patented 5-hour shows, your thoughts tomorrow. What are your big keys for tomorrow?
It all comes down to arms. I mean, who's starter pin going to be the best? And I mean, I know that seems very simple, but I mean, look, you're down to Javen Coleman starting tomorrow, probably. The lefty who I do think does have good stuff, but Carter, here's the thing about college baseball. Teams that throw the most strikes normally win. Right. And it's why Skeens is who he is. It's why the Yankees are the number 1 or 2 seed in the AL right now. Teams that throw strikes win the most. And you're going to have to piece it up. And if you can't, you're going to lose.
Yeah, I saw this was interesting. So, I'm obviously I don't know as much about baseball as you do, but so Thatcher Hurd 5 2/3 innings. He gave up 6 hits, but no walks. Like it just feels like from a momentum standpoint that walks just backbreak. Like,
well, so I showed this tonight, okay? And you can go look at this on K-Zone, okay, which ESPN during the postseason does what they call K-Zone. Is it a strike or ball? Carter, the walks that LSU had tonight, the ESPN called them strikes.
Oh, wow.
In the K-Zone, all of them. By the way, the guy behind the plate tonight is a lead SEC official.
Oh, so you would have bias.
So well, maybe, I mean, you would think, but he was squeezing the shit out of LSU tonight. So it just comes to a point where I think that Gavin Guidry was throwing strikes tonight, but they were being called balls. I mean, it's so bad. I mean, you got to throw competitive pitches.
So Atkinson can't pitch tomorrow.
Ackenhausen,
excuse me.
Yeah, Ackenhausen can pitch tomorrow. I mean, I thought he was going to come in for Guidry there at the end. Yeah, I'm glad now that he didn't. I just don't know as of today when you started him at 11 and he bombed that you go right back to him again to start tomorrow. Now the problem with that is again in the SEC championship game versus Tennessee, he absolutely locked down the number 1 team in the country. So could you go back to him? I think you could. I mean, he threw a lot of pitches, then he warmed up tonight. How long can he give you? Javen Coleman hasn't thrown. I don't know. Pegasus, it's on the app. You have to go to the app, but I shared it on our show tonight. So look, I mean, and here's the thing though, too, Carter. If you win tomorrow, you're coming home and there's a super regional in Baton Rouge because West Virginia and Grand Canyon are playing, and they said, and people were arguing, "Oh, Blake, they didn't tell you who's going to host." LSU will host. I mean, they're not going. The NCAA is not going to let you go to West Virginia over Baton Rouge. It's just not going to happen because they get gate money. And if they get gate money, then they're 1,000% going to try to get as much money as they can. And they're going to.
What I tell you a few weeks ago, I was like, I'm just kind of happy to be that school that gets the Alabama nod, right? Like,
oh, and that's 100% who you are.
Yeah, I just love being that school.
But you are the higher seed, though. Yeah. Like LSU's a higher seed than West Virginia. So even if you were just like LSU, look, your bat's got to come to live tomorrow. I mean, you went through 5 innings. You looked really good tonight. And from innings 6, 7, and 8, you did not look good at the plate. They shut you down. So
I'm cheering for Grand Canyon. The Lopes.
Yeah, they're going to lose. I mean, West Virginia's going to win that regional. I mean, it's a favorable regional and super to be in. I mean, of every team in the SEC, here's the truth. Of every team in the SEC, you got the easiest draw. I'm just being honest. Dude, if Grand Canyon won tonight, Grand Canyon and Baton Rouge, they ain't felt that type of heat and humidity since they was in their mother's womb. Okay, there's no kind of heat and humidity that's that moist than when you're in your mother's womb. I mean, it's 98.7 100% of the time in there. It could be, it could be cold outside. It's still going to be 98 when you're in your mother's womb.
You know where Grand Canyon University is located, right?
Grand Canyon.
No.
No,
they're in Phoenix.
Oh, they ain't the same thing. It don't matter.
Phoenix is hot as hell.
Yeah, but it don't get this moist.
True.
I love it.
I have LSU winning tomorrow 5-4.
Oh my God. That means I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Paxton Kling scores a game-winning run. I'm just gonna say game-winning run. I just think Paxton's gonna do it. Because
Carter, if that happens, I'm gonna drive or fly to Arkansas and literally kiss you on the forehead.
Well, this has been the story of LSU baseball, right? The guys that had doubters are playing well now. Michael Braswell and so on and so on. So Paxton Kling is going to score the game-winning run.
For us to go to a super regional?
The super regional. It's going to be Paxton Kling. 5-4. Number 2-8. I love it. You'll be doing a post-game show tomorrow.
Yep, no matter what. So we're gonna have to postpone our Monday editions again.
All right, that's fine with me.
Until Tuesday.
I will be tuning in. So Blake will have a post-game show tomorrow. I will not, and LSU will win. And make sure you check it out. AYS. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Later, dude. Peace.
See you, bud. Cheers. Blake sent me a screenshot. So he did a post-game show during mine. Dude had crazy numbers. Crazy. What's crazy is my highest PHL numbers I've ever gotten was during women's basketball. This year, not even the year that we won it, they were still really high. One of the best decisions I ever made was actually going to the Final Four. But this year, my women's basketball numbers were crazy. But, man, I can't wait for tomorrow. Look, it did the... man. All right, y'all. I am donezo. Big shout out to our top super chatter. I think it was Janice tonight. Julie also hooked it up tonight on Venmo. Shout out to Brian and Jared Addison, the tater salad. And once again, shout out to our friends at nooffseason.com. Proud member of the nooffseason.com network. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. And tonight we are doing Rotolo's Calzone. Let's go.